Before anything else, Afghanistan, or the people of Afghanistan themselves, need a figure like the president of Tajikistan, Emomali Rahman, who puts his own life on the line to strive for the people. And as a brotherly nation, we wish for lasting peace in Afghanistan and a leader like Emomali Rahman who pursues peace and never gives up.
If your life were to be summarized in a painting, what image would that painting have, and what message would it convey? I mean, even among diplomats and politicians, Muhammad Zahir Akbar holds a unique position, and he cannot be compared to anyone else. He has a character and a way of speaking that commands great respect. Greetings and salutations to our dear viewers and listeners. Welcome to another program. Today, we have the honor of hosting one of our cultural and artistic figures. A personality who has been active in the field of art and literature for years, and with their pen and thoughts, has made a valuable contribution to enriching Persian-speaking culture and art. Our guest today is Behzod Mas'ud, a painter, poet, and cultured writer from our friendly and brotherly country, Tajikistan. Through creating artistic and literary works, he has endeavored to depict beauty, identity, culture, and human concerns in the form of painting, poetry, and writing. In this conversation, we will talk about his life, childhood, the beginning of his artistic path, his experiences in painting, poetry, and writing, the state of art and literature, the role of art in shaping the future of society, and also his message to the younger generation. If you are interested in art, literature, and culture, stay with us until the end of this program. Well, Mr. Mas'ud, first please introduce yourself and tell us about your childhood.
Greetings and salutations to everyone. I am Behzod Mas'ud. I am a painter, writer, poet, and a Tajik student, a citizen of Tajikistan. Since I was young, I have been occupied with poetry, writing, and painting, because I was born into a family of educators in the city of Istaravshan in the Republic of Tajikistan, and my childhood was spent there among children and my peers. Specifically, I grew up in the embrace of my parents, and for that reason, I have many fond memories of my youth and childhood. Currently, I am studying translation in Dushanbe at the university named after Ostad Sadruddin Aini. Where did your interest in art and literature begin? My interest in art and literature comes from childhood. That is, from the time I was born into beauty. I started writing poetry because my father and grandfather were all poets, writers, doctors, professors, and people of science and literature. From watching them, a love for poetry and literature was born in my heart. Then I picked up the pen and began writing poetry. I was about 8 years old, and my first poem was published in the city newspaper, Karwin-e Omid. What exactly was your first experience in painting and poetry? And what drew you to this path? Especially in poetry, it was passed down to me from my father and my grandfather, Niamjan Nazari, who was a famous and brilliant poet. When I saw how they wrote and created poetry, I began my own journey into poetry and verse with great joy. When I was young, my father sent me to the city's children's art school to study art and craft under one of our city's artists, Ostad Ghaffur. I was able to learn the craft of miniature painting, and I have continued on that path ever since. Yes, in your artistic journey, which figures have most influenced your work? Among artists, I am very fond of one of the famous Persian painters, Kemal-ud-Din Behzad. His technique, his art, and his style of miniature painting are a life lesson, and I love it very much, often creating my own works in that same style. And as we know, although the Tajik nation has been artistic since ancient times and many great artists have emerged outside of Tajikistan to create and exhibit their work, I am particularly fond of Kemal-ud-Din Behzad, who is from Herat, modern-day Afghanistan, and I create many works following his method and path. What does painting mean to you? Painting relieves my fatigue. When I paint, I feel a sense of happiness and joy. When inspiration strikes or a passion for a subject arises, I quickly pick up my brush and begin to paint. Painting provides energy to a person and can contribute to their spiritual growth. Only an artist can feel this. Painters are individuals who possess a God-given talent, sensing things that not everyone is able to feel.
Well, what subjects do you mostly reflect in your paintings?
I create works mostly on the themes of historical landmarks, folk arts, and portraits of heroes. Tajikistan is considered one of the most historical countries in the world. It possesses many historical landmarks, and I depict each one of them with the finest, that is, the smallest details, and introduce them to foreigners and provide information about those historical sites. Also, many people in Tajikistan are artistic people, and I depict each of those arts in one place as well. To introduce the culture, history, and civilization of the Tajiks, I put them on display for tourists. And I also paint the portraits of heroes, from Cyrus the Great to our hero Mr. Emomali Rahman, who is the founder of national peace and unity. I paint all these figures and introduce to the world how many great personalities Tajiks have had, and still have. And these are one of my goals in painting. To what extent do you think art can express the pains, hopes, and aspirations of a society? Yes, to a great extent, and an artist can, through art, show the people's heartaches in the work they create. And many artists, for instance, if we look at Afghanistan today, in the paintings they have created, they have depicted many of the things people say that they themselves cannot voice. But by seeing that picture, one can understand the main purpose of the people, the purpose of the painter, and it can do a lot, meaning an artist can, through art, give exposure and information to the world about the thoughts of the people with one painting, one canvas. Right, which of your own paintings has been the most memorable for you? Among my paintings, I have one in particular that I spent almost a month of my time on. In it, I painted folk arts, meaning all the arts that are active in Tajikistan, almost 200 arts. I created them all in one place, and it is very eye-catching, so the viewer understands what kind of arts exist in Tajikistan and how artists currently make a living with these arts. And that work of mine, titled Folk Arts of Tajikistan, is very valuable to me. It is considered very precious. Yes, how do you assess the state of visual arts in Afghanistan? Today, in Afghanistan, among the youth, Especially the art of creation has not grown that much. Especially after the arrival of the Taliban, they cannot engage in the art of painting. Artists and painters are people who require freedom in their work. They need the liberty to express their free thinking, whether through poetry or painting. Unfortunately, today they are in a state of misery, a dark time in Afghanistan, where they cannot engage in their art, or at least cannot freely express their thoughts through it. Right, what is poetry to you? Is it emotion, thought, or something else? For me, poetry is something I create only when inspiration strikes. I cannot force myself to write about a specific topic or person. Poets themselves are individuals gifted with natural talent, and when they write about a subject, it is because their affection and love for someone have grown, or they are people who express the inner pain of the public through poetry. And I, too, am one of those poets who can only create poetry when inspiration arrives. Yes, what topics do you write about most? I mostly write poetry on the subjects of brotherhood, peace, unity, independence, camaraderie, and friendship between nations.
Well, in your opinion, what responsibility does a poet have toward society?
A poet's work only gains fame when it captures the inner pain of the people and puts it into verse. In those writings, there must be a sense of shared thought and unity so that the people can relate to the poet, which then allows the work to become well known among them. Especially many of our poets. If we look at their works, their poems are taken from the mouths of the people, from the people's sorrows. They are about life's actual problems, not myths. Regardless of the topic, in this way, the poet's work is always influential and remains among the people. Many of these life topics are drawn from the people's actual lives, from the needs and demands of life within society.
Right. Is it possible for you to read a portion of one of your poems for our audience?
Yes, several years ago, I wrote a poem about our brother country, Iran. The people of Iran are always welcoming, kind, empathetic, comforting, and soul-soothing. If you ask, where does all this prosperity come from? They reply, it is from love, affection, kindness, and loyalty. If you write poetry, O Behzad, in this language, for the family, the people of Iran, the people of Tajikistan, the world is moved. Tajik and Iran were one heart and one soul. Their people confidants and companions, eloquent and beautiful. That was one of my poems, and a few days ago, I wrote a couplet about our brother nation, Afghanistan. I wanted to recite that as well. I love the neighboring Afghan state, a land of history, culture, and civilization. Its people hospitable, beautiful, and dear. Even if the poet writes in my mother tongue.
Yes, what challenges do you think Afghanistan's literature is facing today?
I mean, especially today, under the influence of the Taliban, Afghanistan is witnessing the silencing of its people. Especially for creators, whether poets, writers, singers, musicians, or artists, freedom is essential. Freedom of thought and intellectual liberty are necessary, but they are lacking. As we see in Afghanistan today, when a person wants to express their thoughts through painting or through poetry, that is, to suggest or impress, they surely face torture by the Taliban. Today, in Afghanistan, literature and culture are on the verge of destruction because, as the news confirms, the Taliban do not allow them to engage in artistic work. They do not allow them to express their thoughts freely. and they do not allow them to work. They have even removed pictures of poets from schools, told all singers they are not allowed to sing, and smashed the instruments of musicians. I mean, this is a dark age, it is a tragedy, and a nation cannot move forward with these actions. Despite all this pain, suffering, and torture, there are still individuals who, in that very solitude, create their poems. God willing, a day will come when peace is restored in Afghanistan, and those intellectuals and scholars who are currently confined in narrow, dark homes will emerge. We can once again reshape and present Afghan literature.
Well, what motivated you to pursue writing?
In my writing, I mostly focus on interesting things, such as my own memories or the events that happen in life. I write them in prose so that others may read them. Sometimes my writing topics also concern historical subjects. There are also issues regarding the shortcomings I see in society that I write about in prose so that people read them and do not fall into error or mistake again. Write. What are your most important works and writings? My most important work or writing is one that has not been completed yet. I am still working on it. This will, God willing, become a book in the coming years. Its topic is about the national hero, the martyr Ahmad Shah Massoud. I have repeatedly spoken with individuals, with heroes who fought alongside Ahmad Shah Massoud, or with people from Tajikistan who had been in Afghanistan and conversed with Ahmad Shah Massoud and his companions. I have written down their memories, their words, and their observations about the national hero, and I am still studying them. I want to compile them into a book, which is very valuable and considered quite rare to me.
In your view, what role can culture and art play in building the future of Afghanistan?
Today, every country is known for its great culture, and for this reason, culture has a role in building a state. With what? It leaves a significant impact, indeed. One could say that what is fundamentally necessary for culture is cultural figures. People of culture are needed so that they can, through culture, introduce a nation, a state, to the global level and the international arena. In your opinion, can a writer be influential in changing the attitude of society? Yes, a writer's poetry can influence a person's spirit, can influence the population, humanity. It can mean that through their writing, they can change the way people think, they can even be a guide, even lead one from a bad path to the right one, and truly, with their writing, whether in verse or prose, be influential for society. Well, what has been the most difficult moment of your artistic life? Especially for an artist or any person, no one can move forward without a teacher or a guide. And I, too, when I had just begun my work, did not have a master, and I wanted to better develop this art, especially the craft of painting, so I needed a teacher. Then, I found a master who trained me in this path. After that, my work progressed twofold, and I achieved some success. For this reason, without a master, no matter the field or the path, one cannot move forward.
What is the greatest success you are proud of?
I have participated in several competitions, exhibitions, and conferences, especially in the Republic-wide Wisdom competition held annually in Tajikistan, where I participated as a poet and writer and, with my own created poems, earned a prominent place. Likewise, in the Tajikistan, my beloved homeland competition, which is held annually in Tajikistan, I also participated in that as a painter, and with my created works, I earned second place. The diplomas, certificates, and prizes with which they honored me are very valuable to me, and these achievements and victories were not just victories, but historic days for me that are unforgettable.
So, if you had the opportunity to give just one message to the young generation of Afghanistan, what would that message be?
I want everyone, essentially, a person or a nation progresses more when they are committed. I have always said to the youth, to everyone, that they should pursue science and knowledge, not to waste their time, but to spend it learning arts, languages, or the sciences of the time. Through this pursuit of science and knowledge, a state and a nation can move forward. As we stand in the 21st century, the era of science and technology, a country advances where there are many scientists, great figures, and innovators. I always want the youth to pursue science and knowledge and never lose hope. Where should young people who want to become poets, writers, or painters begin? Meaning, poets and writers must read many, many books. Second, becoming a poet or a writer is a God-given talent. Third, they must be under the guidance of a poet or a mentor so that when they write, after creating their poem, their mistakes can be corrected by the master. Slowly, a person can become a successful poet. What is your wish for Afghanistan? The wish, not only mine, but the wish of all the people of Tajikistan today for our friendly, brotherly, neighborly country, Afghanistan, is peace. Before peace can exist in Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan themselves need a figure like the president of Tajikistan, Emomali Rahman, who would put his life on the line and strive for the sake of peace. And as a brotherly country, we wish for Afghanistan a leader like Emomali Rahman, who would pursue peace and never lose hope, to establish lasting peace for the great country of Afghanistan, for Great Khorasan, so that the people can live freely again, pursue their work and activities, and show the world how great, historic, and ancient the culture of great Afghanistan is. If your life were to be summarized in a painting, what image would that painting have, and what message would it convey? I would want to paint all the historical monuments of Khorasan and Transoxiana together in one painting to introduce them to foreign tourists, so they may know how great the ancient history and culture of Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Iran, 3 states of one nation, really are. You had a meeting with the Honorable Major General Muhammad Zahir Akbar, the ambassador and political representative of the people of Afghanistan in Tajikistan. How was that meeting? Yes, I was very happy that when I entered the embassy, I felt as if I were in a small Afghanistan where everyone was united. Furthermore, I am very pleased with the warm welcome and the profound words of His Excellency Ambassador General Muhammad Zahir Akbar. It is an honor to know him. The ambassador is truly a very great, sacred, scholarly, patriotic, visionary, and wise figure. When I spoke with the ambassador, I truly felt that he is such a great personality, an ambassador who is not just an envoy, but a mentor and guide for everyone, leading them and showing them the right path. And I saw this paternal compassion of his towards every single Afghan citizen who is currently in Tajikistan. I truly witnessed it. and every time I entered the embassy and met with the ambassador, I would gain spiritual nourishment from him and learn something, because the ambassador is truly a wise, knowledgeable, far-sighted, and very great personality. If we look at Tajikistan today, everyone loves and respects the ambassador very much. Personally, I have a special devotion, faith, trust, and immense affection for Ambassador Mohammad Zahir Akbar, and I always wish him success in his work, especially in these difficult times when many Afghan embassies abroad are closed. Mohammad Zahir is striving to keep the embassy active under his leadership, supporting all the people and showing them compassion, which is truly unforgettable in the contemporary history of Afghanistan. As we know, the ambassador is a figure close to or someone who has learned from the school of the national hero, Ahmad Shah Massoud, and I see certain traits in the ambassador that are just like those of Ahmad Shah Massoud. Mohammad Zahir Akbar says he is not just the ambassador of one nation or one government, but a natural ambassador. I have truly realized this natural ambassador quality of his through his character, his speech, and his behavior. When he attends an event, he represents not just a government, but the entire nation and its people, and in every exhibition or festival, he ensures that a corner is dedicated to the embassy and the arts of the people. Or works on other things and represents the Afghan government. Among diplomats and politicians, Mohammad Zahir Akbar holds a unique position, and he cannot be compared to others because he has a character, speech, and demeanor that everyone loves and respects. I am very happy that I had the opportunity to speak with the ambassador, and I witnessed his kindness and affection toward me. His sympathy and care have increased my love and affection not just for an individual, but for an entire nation, and my love for Afghanistan has doubled. I would just like to say that may Mohammad Zahir Akbar always be healthy, safe, and proud for as long as the earth and time exist. Dear Mr. Behzad Massoud, we are grateful for your valuable presence in this intimate program. We are very pleased that you shared your perspectives, experiences, and artistic memories with us and our audience. Thank you for not sparing your time to accompany us and for recording this conversation. We are always at your service. We truly want peace to come to Afghanistan as soon as possible so that the people can live freely. We want this peace for Afghanistan not just as a neighboring country, but as a brother nation. Undoubtedly, art, poetry, and literature can be a bridge between hearts and cultures, and conversations like this make us more familiar with our shared cultural and human values. We also thank you, our dear viewers and listeners, for being with us until the end of this conversation. If this program was useful and inspiring for you, please share it with your friends as well. Write your views in the comments section and follow the channel to support the program. Until our next meeting and a new conversation, I wish you all health, peace, and success. May God be your protector. M.